Welcome to Anna by Crafted Threads. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to turn 2 granny squares into a casual, elegant crochet top. For this project, I will use a thick and soft milk cotton yarn and 8mm crochet hook. I like to start by making a magic loop. And then I chain 3. This counts as a first double crochet. Next, I will place 11 double crochets into the magic loop, and I will have 12 double crochets in total for this first row. Once I've done that, I tighten up the magic ring and I connect the row. I place my hook into the third chain of the first double crochet. Then I slip stitch, chain 1 and cut the thread. Now I'm about to start the second row, and I will place my double crochets between the stitches. Here I introduce a new yarn and I chain 3 again. That counts as a first double crochet. Now I will place another double crochet into the same space, and I have a cluster of 2 double crochets. I will repeat that till the end of the row. I will place the clusters of 2 double crochets between the stitches of the previous row. If you prefer crocheting with a diagram, here's the one I used. I am at the end of row 2 now, so I connected the same way I connected the previous row. I will work row 3 in the similar way I worked row 2. So I insert my hook between the clusters of 2 double crochets, I introduce a new yarn and I chain 3. Now I place 2 more double crochets between these clusters of 2 double crochets. And I will repeat that till the end of the row. Row 3 is now finished and I'm about to start row 4. I insert my hook between the clusters of 3 double crochets, I introduce a new yarn and I chain 3. That counts as a first double crochet as in the previous rows. Now the next one goes right there between the 2 double crochets of the row before. And I place next double crochet between the clusters of 3 double crochets from the previous row. That's it, chain 1. Repeat that till the end of the row. It gives more texture and it divides the petals from the previous row also a little bit better. And don't forget this chain 1 between the clusters in this row. Row 4 is now finished and I will show you how to start the next one. Insert your hook between the clusters again into this chain space, introduce a new yarn and this time chain 4. Next, do 2 triple crochets into the same space. Here's a close-up of the process. Then chain 1. Next, work a cluster of 3 double crochets into the next chain space. Chain 1 and repeat it one more time. Chain 1 again. This is a transition row from round to square shape That is why we will need to form 4 corners. Now I'm placing a cluster of 3 triple crochets to form the second corner. And now I chain 3. Now I'm adding a second cluster of 3 triple crochets. And chain 1. On this zoom out, you can already see how the circle or round shape form turns into a square. Repeat this rapport till the end of the row. Since I started the row with just 1 corner cluster, now I'm finishing the row by adding the second one. I'm placing a cluster of 3 triple crochets and then I will chain 3. And now I'm connecting this row by placing my hook into the 4th chain of this first triple crochet. I finished the row 5. All following rows will be standard granny square rows with clusters of 3 double crochets in the corner spots. But otherwise nothing is different from the row we just completed. Continue adding rows until you reach the desired size. I added 7 more rows and I have 12 rows in total, and my square measures 18 inch or 46 centimeters. If you want to size up, add 1 more row to your square. Now I am about to do the shoulder seams. I wanted to have a nice neckline, so that's what I came up with. I am attaching a yarn to the corner chain space and then I chain 3. Now I'm placing 2 more double crochets into the same corner space. Chain 1 and add 2 more 3 double crochet clusters. Now I'm switching the sides and continue connecting and adding the row simultaneously. Start in the 3rd chain space from the corner, from left to right, and crochet a cluster of 3 double crochets. Now chain 1 and insert your hook into the chain space on the opposite side. Here is a close-up of what I'm doing. So I insert the hook and I slip stitch, and then I continue crocheting clusters of 3 double crochets 2 more times. I'm repeating all same steps again. Insert the hook into the chain space, slip stitch, and then I need to place 1 more cluster of 3 double crochets into this corner chain space. This is how it looks like now, all nicely aligned and connected, no additional seams needed. And now I'm about to connect this last stitch to the first double crochet of the previous row. So I insert my hook into the third chain of this double crochet, I slip stitch, chain one, and then I cut the thread. By adding these short rows, I created this nice neckline. Now I will connect the sides using the same technique. I insert my hook into the 7th chain space from the corner and I attach the yarn. I chain 3 and then I crochet granny stitch until I reach the next corner. I am at the corner now and I'm placing the last cluster in this corner chain space. Then I will switch sides. I have 6 granny clusters in total. My yarn is still attached and now I am placing a cluster of 3 double crochets into the corner chain space of the opposite side. I chain 1 and then I connect 2 granny squares with each other again. And I continue doing that, adding granny clusters to the current row and connecting it to the other granny square. I turn my camera to be able to show you this last connection. I'm placing the last cluster of 3 double crochets and I connect this last stitch to the very first stitch of the row on the opposite side. So I place my hook into the third chain of this first double crochet, then I slip stitch and I chain 1. I won't cut the yarn because I will continue adding a row of double crochets to my armhole. I already chained 1, so I chain 1 more and then I continue in double crochets. This is where I place my next double crochet and the other one goes right into this chain space, and then I will work into next 2 stitches of this granny cluster. So I need to grab both loops, then the next one, and the next double crochet goes into this chain space, then 3 double crochets into each of those stitches and then again into the chain space. Continue that until the end of the row. Here I also want to show you how I do that around these shoulder seams. This is the shoulder cluster and I place double crochet into this kind of first hole, then I fill the next one. The next double crochet goes right between the granny squares into this stitch chain space. Then I will place 2 more into the next cluster. And the next one into the chain space. So I'm trying to keep the same distance of these double crochets, so I don't crochet too many or too less, just the right amount. And then I continue as I did before. I crochet in every stitch of the cluster and then into the chain space between. Continue doing that and I will meet you at the end of this row. I am about to connect this row. I'm just placing 2 last double crochets. One goes into this corner chain space and the next one goes into this double crochet of the previous cluster. Now I insert my hook into the stitch, slip stitch, and I don't cut the yarn because I still want to continue crocheting around this armhole, and I want to do that in a ribbon pattern. I chain 2, I yarn over, and then I insert my hook, I grab this double crochet stitch around, and then I finish double crochet stitch as usual. The next one I grab from behind, I go around the stitch, grab the yarn, and then I finish the double crochet. And the next one again I grab it from the front, the next I will grab from the back, and I will alternate these 2 kinds of stitches. This creates a very nice bulky ribbon pattern. I came to the end of the row and I ended up with 2 more stitches, but I only need 1, so it's not a problem. I'll just go and grab both of those stitches and complete the double crochet. It won't be noticeable and you just continue your rows as usually. So now I connect the row, I slip stitch, and then if you want to use the same yarn you can proceed and do 1, 2, 3 more rows, but I want to attach different yarn for the upcoming rows. And it looks like I need to relocate. I connected the other side and did 2 rows, 1 of double crochet and 1 of the ribbon pattern, and I will do the same for the neckline and for the lower part. I attach the yarn from what I want to be a back side of the top, so that whatever happens, this connection won't be in the front, and I proceed doing a row of double crochets around this neckline, absolutely in the same way I just did for the armholes. And this is how I go around the shoulder seams. I just need to pace my double crochets so that I will not increase or decrease, and that's actually also the same way I just did it for the armholes. I really like working with this bulky yarn. It makes it much easier to crochet and also much faster. I completed this project in just 2 days. Can you believe that? Go around and then add a row of ribbing, or in my case I will add 3 rows of ribbing, but one of this same color, and 2 rows of different colors, because I want to use up all these leftovers from all the colors I used for my granny squares. Continue the ribbing, and this is how it looks like for now. I only have 2 rows of this color because I want to keep adding different colors. So now I work the bottom first before I start adding more rows of ribbon. Instead of doing slip stitch and a chain in your very last row, do an invisible connection instead. So don't slip stitch, just pull the yarn and then insert your hook from the back side. Yeah, go under these 2 loops, pull the thread, and then you need to find a special spot. So you turn your work a little bit, you insert your hook right there at this spot, then you pull the yarn, and then you can create a stitch, and it's so nice and so invisible, it doesn't have any hint of that it was a connection. Then within the end, but do it very thoroughly, so you don't want this yarn end to escape. Also, don't pull too much, control what you're doing, check it, and try to make it as invisible as possible. So that is how I check the tension of this stitch I just created, and I'm really happy with the way it turned. The very last step is to weave all loose ends and then to block the top. I am really happy with the final result. I hope this inspires you to try it yourself. Thanks for watching and happy creating!